There are tricks, and then there are truths disguised as tricks. Let's talk about perhaps the most famous of them all, sawing a woman in half. It's been done 1,000 times on TV, on stage, in the street. And every time, the same thing happens. The audience gasps, leans forward, and lets itself be fooled. Even though everyone knows it's a trick, they still can't see how it's done. But what if I told you this isn't just an old stage illusion, but also a perfect metaphor for how people, power, and manipulation really work? We'll get to that. But first, here's the actual recipe. And yes, it's real. There are many ways to saw a woman in half. Some magicians use chainsaws, others use circular saws. For this method, all you need is a large handsaw and a human-sized box, made of soft wood that's easy to cut through. Don't make the box too thick, or you'll risk running out of strength before you're done. And that's where it starts. An apparently innocent description. But the first thing you learn in this craft, whether it's magic or politics, is it's never about what people see, it's about what they think they see. Your assistant enters the empty box and lies down on her back. You place the lid on top and nail it shut. You build the illusion with the audience right in front of you. They see it, they believe it, and they accept it. No one asks questions. No one checks inside. Why? Because the setup looks safe. It's a show. Entertainment. Everything is wrapped in humor, glitter, and charm, and that's exactly why people stop thinking and saw through the middle of the box until you're about halfway through. Optionally, you can replace the middle section of the wood with strips of foam board to make it easier to cut. You pretend to cut a person in half, and everyone just accepts it. Why? Because it happens gradually. You don't say, "Now I'm going to do the impossible." You just begin, and people follow along. Just like in politics, just like in manipulation, no one notices the transgressions until it's too late. Pause. Pull out the saw, make a big show of how exhausted you are, how you need to catch your breath. And now you've introduced another technique. Distraction. You create a moment of humanity. You breathe, you show vulnerability. People think, this is real, he's tired, this is costing him something. It gives the illusion that everything is genuine. But behind the scenes, your assistant has already begun the transformation. Let's stop there before revealing the rest. Because what you've just witnessed isn't just a magic trick, it's a step-by-step guide for how reality can be manipulated and how people willingly allow themselves to be led. You think you're seeing truth, you're seeing stage design, you think you're interpreting logic, you're seeing choreography, and most importantly, you think you're making your own decisions. But often, you're just part of someone else's show. Now, slide the saw back into the groove from the side, not from the top. Here's why. While you were resting, your assistant arched her body. So when you insert the saw again, it's now underneath her torso. She may even guide it through. It looks like you're continuing, but you're not. You're doing something entirely different. You're fooling the eye, you're fooling logic, but most of all, you're letting the audience believe they're watching closely, when in reality, they're only seeing what you want them to see. Continue sawing until you reach the bottom of the box. It will fall apart, revealing your assistant unharmed. The trick is complete. The audience claps. They smile. Some look confused. But all of them accept it. Why? Because you gave them a result they couldn't explain. But that perfectly fit their expectations. It's not conscious belief. It's conditioned trust. And now, if you've pulled this trick off in the street, it's time to pass the hat. Collect as much money as you can and split the earnings before the crowd figures out just how easily they were fooled. That's the whole point. Before anyone can ask questions, you've already gotten what you wanted: recognition, applause, and cash. So why do we love being fooled? Because reality is messy, it's complicated, it's boring. But illusion is smooth, simple, entertaining. Illusion gives you the feeling of control without actually giving you any. And that feels good for a while. That's why we fall for the same thing over and over again. Advertising, politicians, conspiracies, people who pretend to speak the truth, but are really just soaring through a box made of softwood and selling you a performance. So what should you do about it? Learn to look behind the curtain. Learn to see how the illusion is built step by step, how people talk while they saw, how they fake exhaustion, how they take control of the story before you've had a chance to think for yourself. And most importantly, don't be afraid to ask the question everyone else forgets. How did they actually do that?